Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Do you have absolute certainty on how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for?
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked? Gina Ricci, I do believe that worked. Happy Why Wednesday. Thank you all for being here. Gina, how are you?
I am amazing. Thank you, Sean Callaghy. We have an incredible group here today. So tell us what we're all doing here.
Yeah, we're playing with the superpower of integrous influence. Like tagline? I don't think so. Because I believe that the money, time, and match, the financial abundance, the time freedom, and the impact, contribution, connection, love, all the beautiful things that we want is on the other side of mastering the superpower of integrous influence, getting yourself to use it emotionally and knowing what to do with it. Because people don't see what they don't see. So Gina, we're going to do this thing. We could be having dinner at a Capitol Grill. We could be having lunch somewhere. But this is shorter, more optimal way to meet other people and explore that superpower. So Gina, who's here?
Well, first of all, Sean Callaghy, we have this extraordinary man, our host, the one and only you, who has done incredible things that we would like to see on screen. So I don't know if you know that we can't see you yet. So
my apologies. There we go.
There we go. There we go. Thank you. So first up, this man from Stamford, Connecticut is a partner at Goldberg Segalla, providing outside general counsel to firms all over the country, helping to defend lawyers from legal malpractice for over a decade. Let us all please welcome Jeff Cunningham to the Heart of Influence.
Jeff, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here, Jeff. And Jeff, we're going to ask for a fun fact in a second. It could be your most proud moment. Heck, could be an embarrassing moment or a funny moment. Something that happened and be like, wow, no way. So the no way factor is fully present. Please, what's your fun fact?
Well, my fun fact, it's weird to describe it as a fun fact, but I graduated from the Citadel, which is a military college in Charleston, South Carolina. It's a pretty unique experience, and it's anything but fun, but it's made me into a much better person, a much better professional, and it's something I'm really connected to. I was just speaking to a fellow graduate earlier today who had a problem, and it's made me a much better lawyer.
Wow. Well, awesome job, brother. And a fun corollary fact is a person that had one of the most substantial impacts in my life, my freshman high school football coach, who was one of the scariest human beings I've ever met, who pushed us beyond every limit we ever thought. and as a dramatically undersized team, led us to a championship that nobody ever thought remotely possible. And that coach was Dennis Slazak, and he was a Citadel graduate.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, your amazing institution had a very direct impact on my life. And thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And thank you. Gina is in the house, and where are we going?
We're going to Somerset, New Jersey. This gentleman, Sean, I believe you're going to meet him next week. Partner at Rosenberg, Rich Baker, Berman and Company. CFO, financial operations, a CPA, previously served as president and chairman of Atlantis Business Development, and so much more. And he's on the board of NIBA, the National Investment Banking Association, of which you are the keynote speaker next week at their incredible conference. And he also is a supporter of disabled vets and my uncle's incredible Operation Beachhead events every year in Seagirt, New Jersey, helping those folks get on the surf. Let's all please welcome Brian Zucker to the Heart of Influence.
Brian, welcome, and holy intersections from NIBA to Operation Beachhead, disabled people surfing. I almost took Gina's head off this weekend as a blind surfer accidentally. But Brian, welcome to the Heart of Influence.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank
you. And what's your fun fact?
Wow, I wasn't prepared for one, but I am simply a proud, humble father of two 24 and 27-year-old boys, and very happily married to my wife, who keeps me laughing all the time, who are currently all in Charleston, South Carolina, doing nothing but taking trolley cars today and experiencing Charleston, South Carolina for the weekend while I'm doing all these fun things with you guys.
Awesome. Well, Brian, thanks so much for being here. Magic is happening. South Carolina fully present in the house today. So Brian, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you. Gina. Yeah, thank you.
From Edison, New Jersey, financial service professional at New York Life, previously at Equity Wealth Solutions Group, and former director and chief investment officer at MERRILL LYNCH. Let's all please welcome John Sharkey to the Heart of Influence.
Hello.
Hey, John, welcome. And what's your fun fact?
It's funny because back in 1986 at college at Notre Dame, we had a day at the race party that was a little different than most. We had in the dorm hall, we had goldfish races where we put a circle, taped a circle and dumped a bag of goldfish on. And we had track for, you know, for the mice and lab rats. My fish won, and I ate it. And that's not how I got the nickname Shark. But a few months ago, this is funny because a few months ago, somebody I did not know at Notre Dame, we were at an event, an alumni event, and they had heard that somebody had eaten a handful of goldfish back then, and it turned out to be me.
So your story has lasted for 35 plus years.
Yes.
That is extraordinary, brother. What year did you graduate Notre Dame?
1986.
Cool. All right. So we missed each other. I was at Columbia, it would have been not your years. And my freshman year of college baseball, my second collegiate baseball game was against Notre Dame in the spring of 1989, after Notre Dame had won the national championship in football in the fall of '88. And the starting first baseman was a tight end on that team. So big fan of Notre Dame. And AJ Donaldson just did a Heart of Influence hosting with us earlier today on his show from South Florida. And he was a fullback at the U of the Miami Hurricanes, which was obviously an enormous rival of
a very big rival.
Very big rival. So brother, welcome to the party. We're gonna have some fun today.
Thank you.
Gina, Notre Dame is in the building. Catholic versus convicts conversation we had earlier today, or earlier yesterday, actually. Gina, who else is here?
I was at that game.
Were you really? Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, that's fun. From St. Louis, Missouri, president at Blueprint for Wealth, financial advisor for 20 years, helping small business owners all over the country build their wealth. We got financial rock stars. Please, let's all welcome Wayne Rector to the Heart of Influence.
Wayne.
Yes.
Wayne, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. What's your fun fact, please?
Not too exciting. So in 2021, I finished number one in our firm in St. Louis.
Beautiful. How is that not exciting, brother? That's awesome, man.
About 130 advisors.
So to finish number one out of 130 advisors, may I ask you why you think that's not exciting?
Oh, no, it's very exciting. I guess when you said fun fact, I was thinking something more exciting or interesting, but.
Well, brother, to me, that makes you extremely interesting. And what, if you're going to give one headline of advice for how you became number one out of 130 fine folks, what would it be?
I would just say, working with clients, just being humble and, really looking out for their interest, not trying to be a pushy salesperson.
Amen to that. Service, integrity, transparency, heart, fully present, brother. And you, Wayne, welcome to the party today. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thank you.
Gina.
Let's go to New York now, although you wouldn't know it by his accent. First Vice President, Head Trader of Commerzbank, second largest German bank in the world for 14 years, owner and founder of Rowe Advisory, proud father and grandfather. Let's all please welcome Sean Rowe to the Heart of Influence.
Sean, welcome to the party. And please, what is your fun fact?
Other than becoming a grandfather recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Fun fact, I've actually rekindled a personal relationship with someone I dated 40 years ago for 6 weeks. And we hitting it off wonderful. And so, she's teaching me yoga. I'm teaching her golf. And believe it or not, we can still get along. So that's a nice thing. And that's my fun fact.
Oh, and it may be a fun fact that you're learning yoga at this beautiful stage of grandfatherhood. Congratulations on that. Fun fact is my mom got married about 3 years ago to somebody she went to high school with, didn't speak to for 40 years herself, and in fact, had never spoken to in high school for more than 1 minute. So that would be a corollary fun fact. They were married a few years ago and they're very happy. So congratulations on your beautiful new relationship.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean. Gina, we got rekindling of relationships. We got magic in the air. Who else is here?
Our final guest. No, I'm sorry. We have two more guests joining us from Central Florida, owner of WC Asset Strategies, retirement advisor, 30 years at CuraScript as a compliance and release manager, and a retired Air Force sergeant. Thank you for your service. Let's all put our hands together and welcome Bill Coventry to the Heart of Influence.
Bill, thanks for being here. Thank you for your service, keeping us free and allowing us to do fun things like we're doing today. Bill, what's your fun fact?
Well, first of all, it was my honor to serve, and thank you for that recognition.
Thank you.
My fun fact happens to do with my service. I actually spent about 90 days over in the middle of the Egyptian desert during the Iranian hostage crisis doing aircraft maintenance.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
And I've spent several tours over there during the crisis and missed my oldest son's first 2 birthdays, but that's part of serving. But that was quite an experience. We were in the middle of an old MiG-21 hangar out in the middle of Egypt, out in the middle of nowhere, just trying to keep an eye on things in the air to get our people home.
Well, we quadruple down then, sir, on our gratitude for that work. And words cannot possibly express the gratitude, the sacrifice, missing your son's first 2 birthdays, risking your life. So again, thank you for being here, and thank you for all that you've done.
Oh, you're most certainly welcome. It was my pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
Next, from Morristown, New Jersey, he has an MBA in finance and a PhD in chemistry, and has his own law practice, a patent attorney, over 10 years of experience in various fields, and focuses on preparing and prosecuting patents in front of the U.S. Patent Office. Let us all please give it up for Mr. Peter Meineck. Welcome.
Peter, how are you?
I'm doing great. Everything is great, Sean. How's everything with you?
It's great. Thank you for being here. And what's the mission, the vision, the purpose? What's it all about in the space of patent law?
Well, that brings me to my funny story. Is that I have never wanted to be a attorney. I don't like attorneys, or sorry, Jeff. And sorry, Sean. But I was a scientist. I was a research scientist. I was working, and one day we went through a merger and acquisition, and I was one of the people that was let go, along with my whole division. And then I went home, and I was looking for a job as a scientist. And then I told my wife, look, I can either go to law school or be unemployed. And she said, well, it's better to have a lawyer in a family than have a bum in a family. So I went to law school and I got my JD, and now I'm doing now we're doing fine.
Oh, beautiful. And I'm not sure that going to law school officially declassifies you from bumness. Not you, but others, but who knows? But thank you, brother, for being here, and congratulations on your journey. Gina, extraordinary people here today.
That is for sure. And for everyone, if I may, Sean, I'd like to introduce a little bit about you, because as a father who, for how many years, as you were building your law firms, your two firms across several states, you did not miss you only missed, I believe, 9 games out of 1,000. And you were, had 2 back-to-back National 100 jury verdicts, working your tail off. You even, every time I hear the story that you flew home like a Saturday morning to get to a game and flew back to that trial, that was, that was like, went down in history. I'm always blown away, Sean, for what you've done and what you do.
Thank you.
And we are blessed. So I'm glad you're all here with us today. And Sean Kelly, what is your fun fact?
My fun fact is that I am a blind man that teaches sighted people to surf, ski black diamonds, win carnival games, and that my lowest jury verdict as a blind man was $27 million. That was my smallest verdict. So those are my fun facts for today. Gina, but let's play with the superpower of integrous influence. And who's going first?
First up is Jeff Cunningham today.
Awesome. Jeff, Gina is going to be anybody you want her to be. She could be an ideal client. She could be a contribution partner. Heck, she could be somebody that you want to create some strategic relationship with. So Jeff, who would you like Gina to be that you're going from hello to yes with?
Ideal client would be good, I guess.
Yeah. And so what would be the demographics of her as in her ideal clientness?
Yeah. So the managing partner of a small law firm, like, 15 lawyers.
Awesome.
And hopefully she'd have 2 or 3 partners with her, but she'd be the decision maker. And, they would just be concerned about their risk and what I could do for them in that arena.
Beautiful. Gina,
hey,
it's your firm. Go to work, boss.
Let's go. Hello, this is Gina.
Hi, how are you? Thanks for taking the call.
No problem. I've got just a couple of minutes. What can I do for you?
I just wanted to talk to you about, our outside general counsel services and how we can help defend your law firm. As you probably know, small firms are the riskiest practice for malpractice and legal ethics issues. And, I have served as general counsel to large AmLaw law firms, and I try to take those same techniques and systems to build into small firm practice, where you can't necessarily maintain a full-time general counsel in your law firm. You can get the same risk management techniques that big law firms use, customized and tailored to what you need in your business.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. And is it just you, or do you have a whole team? Tell me more how it works, because we definitely need to protect, please.
Sure. So that's sort of the appeal. We have a 500 lawyer firm. Not everyone does the legal mal work that I do, but we have employment people, we have insurance people, we have someone slips and falls in your lobby, we have lawyers who handle that. We also have about 1,000 employees on staff, ranging from discovery people to per diem work. So it's a full service law firm, and we sort of customize whatever it is your firm could benefit from. We can tap into that. So that's the real advantage of our size. Also, we have lawyers admitted in almost every state, which allows, and offices in 22 states, which allows us to provide a really deep bench, again, making your small firm able to compete with your big law competitors.
Wow. What are some of your biggest, what would you say are some of your most memorable cases?
So unfortunately, they're really, the memorable ones are the tragedies, where lawyers get sued for mistakes that are made, or sometimes for mistakes that aren't even made, that are sort of manufactured into claims, but that really have a devastating impact on their professional lives and by extension their personal lives. It's what sort of motivated me to start doing this, instead of just going to court and defending the cases like I've trained to do and like I still do. Getting ahead of the disasters and trying to help people before their professional lives fall apart, really is what I strive to do.
Well, thank you. I definitely am interested in hearing more. I have a lot to learn in this space, and it sounds like, you are, it would be worth us having another conversation, Jeff, and I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Jeff, excellent work. Gina, beautiful. Who's next?
Next is Mr. Brian Zucker.
Brian, who would you like Gina to be?
Should I be scared with that laugh, Brian? I'm not sure.
Yeah. Well, quite frankly, I'm pretty good in the sales situation, business development. So that's not my kryptonite. What I'm having problems with right now, which I'd like to maybe work through, is that some of the people that I've taken on at this point, we're just not a good fit. Either they're just demanding things that are somewhat unethical. They're fighting over every bill. It's certainly not a $27 million invoice, but my situation is I don't let go of people and I don't say no to people. My wife and other people at my firm constantly give me that criticism that I need to make everybody a friend and not necessarily do right in the way.
So Brian, you want Gina to be an overreaching client who's not keeping their agreements and they're not paying their bills. Gina, let's step on into this and then we'll have a fun moment about the boss.
Okay, here we go. Hello, this is Gina.
Gina, Brian Zucker, good to talk to you again. Listen, I'm calling about that outstanding invoice that's been going on. I've sent you a number of reminders and for some reason it remains unpaid.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I am definitely struggling with taking care of those bills right now and that invoice. It is what can we do? I'm really in a place where, I'm trying to figure it all out. And I'd like you to just take over that bill. Is that okay? Is it, can we just toss that one in the garbage?
Well, I'd love to because we're friends, but unfortunately I have 7 partners to answer to, and they've asked me to contact you in this regard. And they've even asked me to, have our staff put our pencils down until we can clean this up. So, if it's just a short-term problem, can we come up with a plan where you can give me 20% of it today and we can handle that on a monthly basis so that we can get that resolved and get back on helping you with your accounting needs?
Well, I am definitely not in a position to give you that today, Brian. Is there anything we can do, some kind of, I don't know, plan? Like, what can we create together? Can I wash your dishes? No, I'm just kidding, Brian. What else can we do to work this out?
Well, that's a great question. That's essentially my question for you. What can we do to work this together so that we get paid what we agreed, and we can all go back to making sure you don't have any issues with your accounting?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think. What have you done in the past in this situation with with people are of integrity.
Yeah, so these kind of people are usually pretty good, but the people I have the issues with are the ones that, well, you didn't call me back 4 months ago. They're finding reasons, trying to rationalize. So those are people I need to kind of cut loose, kind of thing. They cause me agita and keep me up at night. So yeah, that's my struggle.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, what do you need? If I can't do 20 today, what can I, if I can come up with something by tomorrow, like what do you need from me?
Well, absolutely. Let's try to make a reasonable payment. Again, we're going to have to, I know you have some deadlines. I know you're anxious to make this happen, but unfortunately my hands are tied. So I need to ask you, what can you do and when could you do it? And I'd like to hold you to that so that I can assure my partners that, we're moving in the same direction.
Let me go talk to my cousin Vinny, and can we talk tomorrow so I can see what I can do, and see what can happen with my cousin Vinny? Is that a good idea?
Can I call you at 9 or would 3 be better?
Let's go with 3, so I have a little more time. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Brian, excellent job. Gina's calling her cousin Vinny for sure. But I think he did a beautiful job. Specificity, clarity. We talk about confronting. We always talk about 4 characteristics. We talk about empathy. We talk about respect, directness, and precision. Empathy, respect, directness, precision, and confronting dynamics. I think he did a beautiful job. So we'll see what the judges have to say in a moment, and this is how this is going to work. So Jeff and Brian did a beautiful job, courageously jumping into the participant seat, and each of you are going to give 30 seconds of feedback to one of these fine participants, 15 seconds on what worked, 15 seconds on what could be optimized, then a score on a scale of 1 to 10. A 1 would be that you would rather take surf lessons from a blind man in January at midnight in the dark in 37-degree water in the Atlantic Ocean in January than have a longer conversation with one of these fine folks. A 5 would be that you'd have a maca chaka laka saka saka, something at Starbucks. I've never had a cup of coffee. I didn't know what all those things are, but you'd rather have a cup of coffee and a 15-minute conversation with them. As 5. A 10 is you would personally rent a private jet, just like some fine folks did to come to Long Beach Island this past weekend in service of contribution to the Ukraine. You would rent a private jet to have a longer conversation with these people. That would be a 10. Gina Ricci, who's judging first?
Let's go, Sean Rowe. You're up first. Let us know what feedback you have for Jeff Cunningham.
Jeff, I'm sorry. Jeff, I thought was definitely an 8. It was very clear.
So hold on. So you'd rent a prop plane to go see Jeff with a maca chaka latte. Is that true?
Maybe a helicopter, no doors. But yeah, I think it was very clear his services offered and what his business, what business he is offering out, if you will.
Riding on doorless helicopters. Beautiful job, Sean. Gina.
Next, let's go John Sharkey, feedback and a score for Brian Zucker, 30 seconds.
Goldfish are not safe. John is on the clock.
I would give it a 10, or give it a 9. The one, he was very direct. He stayed on point. He remained calm and composed. The one thing, he didn't give her any options. I think she could, he met him in a, suggestion, but otherwise I thought it was terrific.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that. John's flying on a prop plane, or maybe 6-seater private jet. G, who's up?
Peter, some feedback and a score for Jeff.
Jeff was excellent. I think that he was a great explainer of what it is that his firm does and what it is that he does. And as a matter of fact, I'm just trying to look him up on LinkedIn, but unfortunately there's so many Cunninghams out there that I'm gonna have to figure that out based on your email. Yeah, and so I'm gonna be go ahead and calling him up for real, not for this. But yeah, I think that was a very solid 6 or 7. Yeah, that was excellent.
Right, maca chocolate latte, and maybe a helicopter from like the Flintstones. So perfect, Peter. Love that. Gina.
Wayne, feedback and a score for Brian.
I would say a 7. I mean, I think you did a good job. The only thing I would have, next time or whenever you call somebody like that, I would probably have some ideas ahead of time to say, okay, how about this? Then you could just, send them a letter, have them sign off on it saying that this is the payment schedule that they're going to agree to or what have you. Give them, an option, to work off of.
Wayne, beautiful work, sir. G.
Bill Coventry, please, feedback for Jeff.
Well, Jeff, first of all, I thought you did a fabulous job. I'd give it a 7 to an 8. Again, you were very clear and direct on what your business does and what you're trying to do to serve your client. So I thought you did a really fantastic job with that.
And the
I
score?
couldn't see any lack of clarity of any kind.
And Bill, what would be your score? Because you're also going to give Brian some feedback since you're a 5th.
He said 7 to 8. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. So, sorry, Bill. Thank you. And a little and some feedback and a score for Brian, Bill, as well.
For Brian, again, you're in a tough position trying to collect money. It's a tough position. What you could have done is use some of your sales skills, and I think other people have already mentioned, given them some options. So here's the options. I've got, a 5%, 10%, 20%. What can we do today? Rather than just having her select something. Sort of like how you did the triplicate close when you're in sales. You could have done the same thing when it came to that. That would be my only suggestion.
Thank you. Beautiful. Well, Bill, thank you. And I'm going to thank all of you. I'm blind, so I can't read anything, can't take notes. But having names like Jeff, Brian, Sean, John, Peter, Wayne, and Bill, this is the easiest day of names, 550 shows we've ever had in the history of the show. The shortest, simplest, most beautiful names ever. Thank you for having the greatest names in the history of our 550 episodes. Thank you very much. With 3,500 participants that have been here before. Now what happens is I either get to take a nap, which I don't think is going to occur, or this gets turned on me. It gets turned on me now. And this is the creation of Gina Ricci and, of course, my co-host, Bella Rita, who's recovering from a little medical procedure and will be back shortly. And she is chuckling away, even though she's not able to speak fully and freely with her little procedure. And here's where we're at. So I will be in the participant seat now that Jeff and Brian so bravely allowed themselves to step into. But you can make up any scenario you want. Political, I've been President Biden, President Trump. I've had to invite a conservative New Jersey attorney to go to Burning Man. I've had to sell ice to Eskimos that actually needed the ice because the scenario has to be integrous and it has to be one-to-one. It could be for what you sell, for raising money, for a political situation. I'm going to pick a number that's already assigned by Gina to somebody. I can't see any of it. I have no idea. And then you get to set the scenario or pass it along to put my butt in the hot seat. Gina, I'm going with number 6.
Number 6 is Bill Coventry.
Wow. There you go. So Bill, would you like to put my butt on the hot seat, or do you want to assign it, Bill, to somebody else that's here?
I'll put you on the hot seat.
All right, sir. What's the scenario going to be? What's the yes that I'm seeking? Who am I?
The scenario is going to be, this is my primary market that I market to, is somebody that's getting ready to retire. They're 64 years old. They don't know about Medicare. They have no idea what to do with their assets to protect them in retirement.
Okay.
And my job is to let them know what I do and that I am there to truly just offer advice and consultation and just find out what's important to them.
Awesome. 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 Okay. So would you like to be that 64-year-old or pass that along to somebody else to be or sign it?
I'll pass that along to somebody else so they can let me know how I do.
Yeah. Who do you want that to be?
Brian, I picked on you a little bit. Why don't you go ahead, sir?
I was
Yeah,
going to
so-
ask if
so-
I
so
could just
I-
have 1 minute because the dog's scratching. Could you pick somebody else and I'll
Oh,
do anything
okay,
for
not a
anybody?
And so, Bill, just to be clear, Bill, I'm going to be you, right? I'm going to be you. You're picking who's going to be the 64-year-old.
Right. Okay.
He got in.
Um,
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
All right, perfect. All right.
He got outside.
So hey, Brian, this is Bill. Is it still a good time to chat?
Yeah, Bill, I'm good now.
Yeah, thanks so much, for taking this call. I know we only have about 3 or 4 minutes.
Of course.
For there's something to talk about here. So can I ask you, Brian, why is it that you want to chat with me? I know you have financial needs. I know in the scope of looking at somebody in financial services to support, but what made you take this call with me?
Yeah, I got this great card in the mail, and you seem very educated, and you touched on all of the matters that are before me, such as I'm getting set to retire, and I have a lot of questions as to whether or not I have sufficient funds to make that happen.
Oh, beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Brian. So can I ask you a couple quick questions?
Of course.
Yeah. So, Brian, what's your outcome in retirement? Like, what matters most to you? I'm hearing, will I have enough funds? But what would you like to see the next? And I'm not joking when I say this and being coy, but hopefully you're 64 years old. Let's hope for the best. Your next 36 to 40 years of life. Let's hope you get to 100 and beyond. What do you want this to be all about from here?
Well, I certainly want to be financially independent, be able to travel, and help my kids in the event they should need it. So I'm looking for the comfort in knowing that that I should be okay.
Awesome. So I'm hearing comfort, some travel, spending time with your children, and anything else that's a part of that vision of the rest of your beautiful life in retirement.
I think about Social Security, health benefits, income during retirement, and my general living arrangements.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. I'm hearing your heart. I'm hearing your uncertainty a little bit there. Am I hearing you correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Would it be okay in our final minute or so together if I could share a little bit about me?
Please.
Yeah. So, Brian, people in financial services at this point can appear to be like a dime a dozen, and they could appear to all be the same. And just critical for me to understand, in this final minute, is when you think about somebody you want to work with, I'm presuming trust matters enormously, and so does competency, obviously, because you're here to have somebody help you figure all this out and to see truly what the landscape looks like. But how do you, Brian, decide that somebody is that person you can trust and they do have that competency? What do you need to see to have that truth revealed to you?
Great question. I guess just I'm not sure I'm able to articulate it. It's a matter of simply getting from you that you care about me.
Awesome.
And
and
not having some sort of defense mechanism that I might have up, that some of your decisions and your plans, which might move rather quickly, are based in a higher payout than my best interest.
Amen to that. So with that said, what I would share is I've been doing this for 26 years. I could put you on the phone with 10 references that you could pick from. And if you want more, I'll give you a list of 50. And everything that I believe in is that money is one of the most catastrophically complex issues for people in a capitalist structure. I know you're 64 at this point, and us being, real with each other, I'm not going to be in a position to change the past, but we can absolutely impact the future. Everything that I do with people is about complete transparency. It's about you understanding where there could be any self-interest on my part and how all this works, so that you're absolutely certain that you're getting the best plan possible. And in fact, Brian, what I would offer and propose to you is that we have a 60-minute meeting where we could look at all of the issues. I have a beautiful question we'll go through. And then I would say to compare after that 60-minute meeting. I wouldn't compare my plan because everybody's going to try to pick things apart and speak and complain. But I would sit down with 2 other financial service providers after me. And if you feel more comfortable and more certain that you can trust them and that they're fully competent, then go work with them. But I'm telling you, sir, after that 60 minutes, you will know you can A, trust me, and B, that I know what I'm talking about. So if that resonates with you, I'd love to spend an hour. If not, I thank you for your time. So how does that resonate for you or not, Brian?
Very comforting.
Okay, so would you like to have that session together?
Yes, I would appreciate that.
Okay, thank you. We'll set it up. ... Out of roll. Brian, how did I do as a financial services professional talking to a 64-year-old?
Very, very easy to speak with. Very, defenses went down. I was not looking for that I got your moment.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that, Brian. And by the way, you did a fantastic job today, stepping into the participant seat, which we couldn't be more grateful for. And thank you truly as a disabled man. I am very grateful for what you do in contribution for vets and disabilities and people with Operation Beachhead and all the beautiful things. How was your time with us here today, Brian?
Oh, outstanding. And I don't want to take any stolen valor. I do very little other than take the boards and send it back out to the guys who really take care of those vets and handicapped people. I'm simply a make sure they don't go all the way into shore. I do very little, but I'm grateful to be around people like you and them that really do a lot. So that's why I do it.
Well, thank you. And doing anything is definitely never doing little. So Brian, thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bill, thank you for the scenario. How'd I do as Bill?
Oh, I wish I could have copied that, and because you said things in the same way that I like to talk to people. It's about whenever I want to, and it's so hard to get people to listen on the phone because as soon as they pick up the phone and they think that you're a salesperson, they don't want anything to do with you. Yeah. So I need to find a way to break down that concern, to let them know, listen, I'm not here to do anything but find out what's best for you.
And I support you be a very cranky person on the other end of the phone. So ring, ring, please say hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Hi. Is Bill available?
I am, but listen, you're about the 5th person that's called me about this today.
Yeah, I am. Bill, my apologies for all of it. Can you give me 30 seconds? And if not, hang up on me. I will give you my social media handle and say I'm a liar and a scoundrel and not helpful. But I do know that most people in your position need support and get overwhelmed by phone calls. So can I please have 30 seconds in service of you and serving you?
Sure, please go right ahead.
All right, let's pause. Speed, precision, directness, leaning into what is, causes a settle energetically. I've got a lot more to unpack, but in a moment, Bill, how did that feel, at least for a quick tidbit?
I think that was very good. Because immediately you get defensive whenever somebody starts trying to fly back at you, and you're just trying to stay calm and get into, make them realize I'm not like the last person you talked to.
Yeah.
I
Empathy.
Truly care.
Yeah. Empathy.
I truly care about helping you in your situation.
Yeah, and understanding they're in pain. They're just like a wounded animal or a deer afraid they're going to be prey. Whenever yes becomes at stake, the other person thinks they may become prey. So creating safety and having empathy and respect, along with directness and precision, is the foundational mechanism of reopening listening. So Bill, you did a beautiful job today. Thank you for the scenario. And how was your time with us on The Heart of Influence?
Oh, I think this was very helpful, sir.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for everything that you've done and you do, sir.
Well, again, it was my honor, but thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Jeff, Citadel, NIS, fully present. Massive gratitude and respect for you being here and for who you are and what you stand for. How was your time with us in the Heart of Influence?
It was amazing. I mean, it's kind of shocking to think it's not even been an hour yet. So I feel like 10 hours of information has gone in 45 minutes. Really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. And seriously, did a beautiful job. And I mean the conditional training, the conditioning and training an institution like the Citadel, I could not agree with you more, prepares you for every single dynamic that you're going to face in a combat dynamic of the law and in confronting things in life, including yourself. So I am fully present to it. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go. Sean, thanks for judging, kicking off the judging. How was your time on the Heart of Influence?
Very interesting. Thank you for having me.
Beautiful. What did you find most interesting today?
Well, coming from somewhat of a different background, meaning industry-wise, I suppose, that things flow over all of our industries, rather. The commonalities, even though the jobs may be completely different. So that's, I can take things even though it doesn't directly apply to me. So that was very, I'm very grateful to have been on your show.
Thank you. And Sean, we say that every Hello conversation has 4 steps, 12 indispensable elements, and 4 energies, whatever the Hello is. From your best friend to conflict in a courtroom, to marketing, selling, managing, leading, recruiting, fundraising for charity, fundraising to raise money for a corporation, all of it. And thank you for being one of 3,500 people that have been on the show at this point, post-COVID, and for your beautiful contributions. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
John, thank you for sharing your Notre Dame goldfish consumption story. How was your time with us today?
It was very good. Time flew. It did not feel like this has been almost an hour. It went very quickly. It was enlightening. You're watching you get to yes was very impressive. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, awesome, John. Thank you for what you do, and thank you for your shares and for your feedback for the participants. Peter, great job. Let's hear from our scientist who became an attorney to avoid bumness, which of course he was never going to be a bum and was never a bum anyway. But Peter, how was your time with us here today?
It was very good. I really appreciated this, and it was very interesting. And I appreciate learning about other people, meeting them, and we'll go ahead and, if it makes sense, we'll chat on LinkedIn or other places. So
beautiful. Amen to that, Peter, for sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wayne, your final, my friend. How was your time with us?
That was good. It was interesting, actually hearing, Jeff talking, and I hadn't really thought about from an attorney standpoint, basically you're in sales just like everybody else, and selling yourself and overcoming that. It was interesting.
Beautiful. Well, Jeff, Brian, Sean, John, Peter, Wayne, and Bill, really beautiful job today. We're very grateful. And Gina Ricci, you did a fantastic job today. As always, sat in these beautiful seats, Gina, like these fine folks, as one of the 3,500.
And it changed my life. I did, and it changed my life. And Sean, just real quick, I want to share because it's on my heart. When Tony Robbins said that there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy, just a couple of years ago, in an audience of his, the people that he's mentoring and platinum partners. And I have been here since then, and I've watched the impact that you've made, and I'm so honored, grateful. This is incredible, an incredible journey, an incredible formula, the opportunity to meet all these fine folks, and many, many, many more has been off the charts. So you can't even begin to understand what's here. There's so much here. I invite you, if you get invited to the conversation with one of our team, have the conversation. It changed my life. It changed my life. So back to you, Sean.
Yeah, thank you. And similar to what Bill said, folks are always like, as soon as we get something's being available or sold, we get like, whoa. I completely appreciate that. I thank you for being here, but there is a lot more here. if this is the end, we wish you well. We wish you extraordinary things. But we have people in our program. One of our top clients in Unblinded Elite, Rob Gill, has gone up more than 7 figures in personal income since he's been part of this, and the number is set to double again next year. We have a number of people who've doubled their income and doubled their income again. But far more importantly, we've raised over $4 million for charity in just the past few months for Ukraine relief and the superpower of integrous influence. So if you're seeking more money, more financial abundance, more time freedom and scaling, and more magic and impact in the world, this is the place. So we'd love to have a longer conversation. And I think for a lot of us, it seems so complex to build, grow, scale. That's what we do. I have the privilege of having a 125-person law firm. I built and sold a 40-person law firm, 0 paid advertising, 0 resources. To start my career, Unblinded continues to grow and accelerate and create partnerships all over the place. Maybe we could have partnerships with some of you. Have the conversation. We're immensely appreciative and grateful for you being here either way. And I do believe, Gina Ricci, that everything we want is often like right there in front of us. But while I may be physically blind, I do think that we're all blind.
Just learning to see. Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.